From the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Gardening Inside Out, a podcast with highlights from our Saturday morning live show, answering all your gardening questions, giving you plant advice for any space in your life. Let's start the show.
Hey, y'all. Caroline Gant.
Hey, y'all. Austin Lowen.
And Tyler Blankenship.
Back again.
Yeah, it's June now.
It is June now. It's crazy that it's June.
It is. It's flying.
It's
this
not
gardening
hot.
season is flying.
It's flying by, but it's not hot.
You know how it's June?
How?
There's
You look at a calendar?
there's lightning bugs out.
Yeah, I have seen those out.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. About to have the June bugs and the Japanese beetles.
Oh,
They're about to come, y'all.
No,
It's
not the
happening.
Japanese beetle.
Those flying little plant assassins.
You know, I used to like canna lilies. I planted a bunch of them, and now Japanese beetle destroy them every year right before they bloom. And now I don't like them, but you know what? Can't get rid of them. They're in there forever.
Me, I'm similar with my perennial hibiscus. It's the same way. It's that dark purple leaf, and they love dark purple leaf things.
Oh,
So annoying.
But you can get rid of yours. You could dig that out if you wanted.
Oh, yeah, you're
I've
right,
tried
I
to
could.
dig up my cannas. I probably could have done a better job, to be honest, but no, I thought I got them all. I have a grove again.
That's like me and Iris.
Yeah.
Who's Iris?
Yeah, who's Iris? Who are you talking about, Tyler?
Can't get rid of her.
Well, she's all over my bed in the front yard. And I still got a little bit of Iris coming up.
All right.
Yeah. I like Iris.
Eh,
And
It's
canna's
hard.
okay. I'm just not as much of a tropical gardener as I used to be.
yeah.
I've
No.
gone more of a cottage route.
Mm-hmm. I kind of go that route, too, a little bit.
Yeah, canna does not fit into that scheme for me.
No, definitely not.
Not at all.
Mm-mm. Know what I was doing yesterday?
Mowing.
Mowing the grass. I had to mow it. I had to mow it twice, y'all. I look like
is this last week's broadcast?
It's every week's broadcast. It's been raining so much, y'all. I look like a dang plowboy out there cutting hay for a farmer up the road. Like, come on, bring your baler down. Let's bale it
Let's
up.
bale up this
Send
hay.
it to the cattle. That's what I look like.
Do you do
did it all day.
anything with your clippings?
No.
Really?
I just double mow. I
Yeah.
go back over it, I say double. A lot of times it's triple.
How many hours were you on that mower
I
yesterday?
was on the mower all day long yesterday.
Sun up to sundown.
No, about 9. About 9 to 9 to 4.
So pretty
But
much
there's
a shift
Look,
here
Tyler,
at Bates
there was a
Nursery
good
Garden
amount of
Center.
breaks. It was
What
it
is
was
going
day
on in
off.
your yard?
I had some beverage breaks. Y'all, I didn't get to the yard last week, and it was ridiculously high, and it's just been rainy, and it's so wet. What do you want me to do?
It's true. I weeded it again yesterday.
I didn't even get to weed eat yesterday because I spent so much time mowing. But I
Looks
will
like
say,
we know what you're doing when you're getting home today.
no, I ain't pulling out that weed eater today. Too muggy.
Okay.
Way too muggy.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a mug level that is really too high right now.
There it is.
So one year I bagged my grass clippings. My clippings.
Your clippings.
And I put them on my banana trees. And I noticed that my yard started to starve, but my banana trees were looking great. Because, of course, all of that compost was moved and concentrated to a certain area. And I know it's not that much, but it was enough to affect, like, the health of my lawn.
Right.
So then I stopped, and I just mulched it in now.
Yeah.
So that was a discovery.
That's pretty much what I've got horror stories thinking back as me as a kid with my dad getting the grass clippings and setting them beside the garden and making me and my little brother get out there and spread it around all the vegetable plants in the garden. You talking just scratchy arms, hot summer sun, grass sticking to you. It was awful. It was
Sounds
an
southern.
awful chore.
Very
It was
southern.
awful. I hated that.
So you don't do it anymore.
Nope.
Do not
Just double and triple cut it. Spend so much money on gasoline.
spend all day cutting that grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do
You know
anything
what,
with
though?
my
It
grass
looks
clippings.
money right now.
I bet it does.
It's pristine.
Did you get a photo? We
No.
can put it up on the Instagram.
No, I'll get you one.
You know everyone listening, I'm sure they want to see that lawn.
Caroline put something up.
I did. What did I?
Your hostas.
Oh, I did on my page. I did. And then I reshared it in our stories. Y'all, my hosta bed is looking so clean and amazing. It's hosta, some ferns, and some heuchera.
For you, it may be the cleanest I've ever seen a bed.
Are you saying it's not perfectly clean? Is that what you're saying right
Your
now?
beds are, nobody's perfect. But your hosta bed is as clean. That photo I saw, I mean, clean. Like, good work on that. I
Thank
give you that.
I need to mulch it. And some of the hostas are getting so big that I will be separating them come this fall.
Of
I've never
course.
done that before. So it'll be
Easy.
a first for me. It seems easy,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to hurt my striptease hosta, which is, y'all, if you're into
She's
hosta
kinda
and
stealing
you
the
don't have
show.
striptease, she is stealing the
She's
show.
in the middle of it, center of attention.
It has like quadrupled in size at least. It's been in the ground 3 years, and that's the one that really needs to be split. All the other ones, I could leave them and they'd be okay, but that one is going to eat the bed next year if I don't.
Mm-hmm.
No
It's
kidding.
money. It is money. I will share that photo on the Gardening Inside Out page so y'all can take a look at it.
Cool.
But yeah, it is by far my cleanest bed. Although my vegetable beds are very clean right now. I spent all day yesterday cleaning them up,
Nice work.
putting down paper. Tyler has been doing something interesting with vegetables.
Yeah, peppers.
Nope,
No?
not what I'm talking about.
No? You don't care that I planted peppers?
I do, but I planted those too.
Starts and seeds.
You planted tomatoes. And
That's
you said on the
right.
podcast you don't plant tomatoes.
I got some celebrities.
He did it.
Proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what you said? One of the varieties that do really well?
It's the best.
Yeah.
don't
I
know
just
what
want to
planted.
see, like, okay, so I've tried what my heart wants, and that didn't work out. So let's see what everyone else wants for me.
I'm also happy that
Let's
you planted
see.
peppers too.
Yeah.
I planted some yesterday.
Some of them were saved seeds, which I do that, especially I love Hatch chili peppers. And I know that we also sell some at the nursery, but these, I don't know. Something's a little bit special about saving your own little seeds, you know?
Oh, definitely.
Very special
Yeah.
about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love saving
So-
my seeds.
And poblano, and I love Cubanelle peppers. I don't know if anyone else out there loves Cubanelles, but they just do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit of a mild child when it comes to peppers.
Me too.
Yeah. And that kind of does it for me.
Nice.
Mm.
Those little, like, kind of little bells, right? Aren't they?
Cubanelles are actually they're a little bit longer and a little bit thinner walled than a bell pepper,
Okay.
but they're a little bit less sweet, but they're all not like crazy hot.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're making me want to plant more peppers. I probably have like 8 peppers planted.
And
Yeah,
you could.
do
There,
some more.
I'm pretty sure I read one time there's like literally over 1,000 different
Oh,
cultivars of
I'm
peppers.
sure that
Like the
more than
hybridizing
that.
efforts are huge on peppers. It's crazy.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
my problem is I'll plant peppers and then not remember which ones they were.
Oh, that happens all the
planted.
time. That's tomatoes as well.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
with tomatoes,
horrible.
you can kind of tell when to harvest them, but I feel like some peppers, I'm like, I don't know, are they ready? I don't know what
Yeah.
they're supposed to look like. How big do they get?
If they don't get enough water,
be?
they look like a miniature version of what they're supposed to look like,
That's true.
which
You know-
is weird.
Something I want to talk about is jalapenos for a second, okay?
Let's talk about it.
Let's
You
park
know-
it. Let's park it on the pinos.
This is this is like always been a pet peeve of mine. Like the reason that we always just see green jalapenos in the store is because they pick them early because they ship way better. They're harder walls, and they ship better. Jalapenos are so much better when you let them go red and they get that sugar content in the pepper. Then you get the heat, but they're also sweet. Like red jalapenos, people think like, oh my God, it's so much hotter. It's like, no, that's not the case. They're actually a little bit sweeter. They still have the same spice level as a green one. They still can be spicy, don't get me wrong. But I'm mad that they don't have red jalapenos more often. They're so much better. So
Well,
there's my
looks
rant.
like you got to grow your own.
Well, I do.
Well, you
And I
do.
try to, the one thing I will say though, I try to let them go red on the vine as much as I can. Stay on the vine, on the plant.
We know
whatever.
what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
You don't have
But-
to know everything.
Sometimes a lot of jalapenos won't go actual red until they just rot first.
Yes, I do know that. I've experienced that. Like one side will get really, really soft when I go to harvest it once they're red.
But if you get a red one right off of it, money.
Bring it to Austin.
Yep, do that.
Y'all,
I
everybody
remember-
ship your red jalapeno peppers to Bates Nursery and Garden Center.
Gonna have a pile of them.
Yeah, you are. Fan mail. What were you saying, Tyler?
I grew jalapeno several years ago for the first time and did marvel at the fact that they did turn red. Just because there's so much like, I guess you could call it plant illiteracy because everything is served to us in a grocery store. So when you have that experience of just getting stuff in the ground and watching it go through all of its stages, including decay, it's just miraculous.
It is.
And more things are edible than you think. It kind of opens your mind to like, well, that's off color, but is that off-putting? I don't know.
Yeah, we're just so used to having everything picture perfect in the grocery store that you don't. Like if you harvest a red tomato and there's like a nasty spot on it or a spot from a bird that pecked it or something, like just cut it off and eat the rest. Like your standards do not have to be grocery store standards. We're just growing. We're just trying to make this thing happen. And it's a lot of hard work and dedication. And if you get a tomato that's got a hole in it, cut it off and still eat it. You did all that work for that one tomato.
That's kind of what's happening with my fall gold raspberry, although there's no work now. It's been long planted. I just enjoy it. But ants, wasps, and like maybe birds, but birds kind of ignore it because it's not really red. You know, it doesn't like stick out to them, which is nice. But like I'll come, you know, pick a little berry and see that just a little bit of the seeds are exposed. Like those tiny little mouths are just chewing on a tiny little part of the berry. And I just eat it.
Yep.
That's all you got to do.
That's what we do.
That is what we do. We eat the stuff we grow. Eat your fruit and your veggies.
Yeah.
Do it. Well, I'm just excited about gardening and all the stuff. I'm sitting here thinking about my beds.
Yes. Last year I grew leeks. I grew peppers.
I planted some leek seeds the other day.
I feel like leeks are almost bulletproof.
Yeah, Ben
and you can
Trust
almost grow them any time of the year.
Come talk to Ben about them. Or if
he brought in some stinky leeks for one of his webinars.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, sorry about the farty smell in here. And I'm like, sure, Ben.
Sure.
Yeah, Ben
but
loves
the
to get
blooms
his
are really
hands
pretty.
dirty.
He's brought some of the flowers in.
They're huge.
They're huge and
They
they're
are.
gorgeous. So I decided to plant some this year.
Very nice.
It's going to be great. But let's go ahead and get into this week's broadcast.
It was a good one.
It was. I think there was a lot of banter this week, if I remember correctly.
There always is.
Always is. A lot of fun stuff going on.
Yes.
But you will hear the three of us as well as Josh Carey and David Bates.
Enjoy.
So, what's on your mind this morning?
You know what's on my mind with the rainfall? The grass.
Yes.
The grass is growing.
Boy.
It never stops.
Never.
God, I got to mow the grass all the time.
That's always on your mind this time of year.
Twice a
I
week
don't
yet?
want it. It should be twice a week, David, but it's not. It should be. But the grass is perpetually tall. I can't even cut it lower than like on 3 because then I just get this thatch that gets kicked out and then I got to run back over it and I ended up having to cut it twice.
He's mad. Passionate already.
Look,
Well, you know,
always.
that's something we've learned to count on out of Austin. He is he brings it. He doesn't hold back.
He gets
doesn't have his-
excited. It's okay.
This isn't excitement.
This
No.
This is
I'm
fire.
glad the grass is
This is
growing.
fire.
That's great. It's not like it's bare dirt. But it's not fun. It's all the
I
time.
think it's fun. I've planted so much stuff and it's loving this rain.
Yeah, the planting stuff is great. But what about your grass?
It
it's
doesn't look
jumping.
great.
You always have to walk through the wet grass in the morning.
It's okay.
It's not okay
I don't
to me.
mind it.
Gets my socks
You
wet.
don't mow.
My grass
either,
is
though,
fine.
Do you not
Austin.
walk on your sidewalk?
Oh, my.
You have a sidewalk.
I do have a sidewalk, but I have to walk through the grass to get to the truck in the morning. And it gets my feet wet.
Do you have to?
Yes, I have to. I have to get off the sidewalk at some point.
You got any rubber boots? Any puddle,
I ain't
puddle
trying to
Just
put on
tie
stompers?
some Kroger sacks around your ankle.
Yeah,
Walk
that's
to the
what I'll
truck.
do.
Done.
It sounds like a luxury problem to me. I would say he gets to,
He gets to walk through that tall
there's the-
grass.
Yes.
I feel like there would be a way around it. You walk down your sidewalk onto your driveway, walk around the back of your truck.
That's a whole lot of stuff.
It's a lot of steps. It's a lot of steps.
What they've got these things, David. I think they're new. Stepping stones.
No.
Oh, we have them here at the nursery that say cute little things.
No, then I'd have to weed eat around those stepping stones.
Oh, okay.
or perhaps that little strip, Austin, that's leading up to your truck could be mowed more frequently. Just that one little
Weed
strip.
eat yourself a
That way-
path. Yeah.
Then I have to weed eat.
You know what?
You know my
we're
weed eating-
trying to help you solve black plastic.
All
Put
y'all
the
are
black
doing is
plastic down.
giving me more work to do.
Nah.
Nah.
Or take the extra steps.
Well, there are a lot of people out there who've got work going on at their house because they've got issues that they're concerned about. And so why don't we see if we can't help some folks out?
Let's
Let's do
help
it.
some people. Y'all,
Let's put that invitation out there, Caroline. How do people get in touch with us while we're live on the air, and we can entertain those questions as well while we're here.
yes, you can. So you can ask live questions through our Facebook live stream,
Yes.
YouTube live stream. You can message us. If you have photos to send to us, send them ahead of time at gardeninginsideout@gmail.com. If you send photos, make sure they are a high resolution photo so we can get them up, get the detailed shot, and make it look really, really pretty.
And Tyler doesn't like to have pixelated pictures, so keep him happy.
He's
for
a
it.
Tyler is
stickler.
He's a stickler
he
for
is.
pixelation.
Listen, he's gotten mad at all of us for low resolution photos,
has.
sending photos late.
He called me out for
should
having
have
an
heard
Android
him.
phone.
He did.
Should have heard him
That was
before
a
we went
casual.
live.
That was a casual call out. It was a matter of fact.
Let's go to the Tyler cam while you're talking.
Tyler-
We haven't seen it yet.
Tyler
right?
cam.
There
Good morning.
it is.
Hey,
Tyler.
yes.
So, like we said, we've got a lot of problems, issues with pests and fungus, all those fun types of things.
Yeah.
It's that time of year.
That time of year. Let's start with hosta. Something is really chowing down on my hosta. Should I worry about it or treat them somehow?
I think double up on worry is
Triple.
good.
Yeah.
Triple on the hostas.
I like
A lot of problems persist in plants because people under worry. So if you'll just make sure and at least double up on your worry, that'll go some distance. And then Austin, what's the rest of it?
Well, the rest of it is probably slugs and snails.
Yep.
That would be my, unless it's a deer. I mean, a deer like eat hosta like lettuce, so that could be it. But you would really see damage. Like you would really worry
Oh, they
if you
did
saw
say
a deer come
chowing
in.
down.
Chowing down
Just
could
see
be a
dirt.
deer, but for the most part, slugs and snails really like hosta. And speaking of hosta, the Hosta Society of Northern Alabama came out to Bates Nursery yesterday.
Shout out
And
to Susan.
Susan was here.
Susan was here.
We took
got
a selfie with her. It was great. They came on 2 big buses out in the parking
Awesome.
lot. They were here shopping. Our shade annual department just got wrecked yesterday.
Yes.
They were
In the
buying all
best
sorts of
way.
shade stuff. Those are the shady loving people. The
Yeah.
Hosta Society. It
I
was
love
great.
hostas.
I heard we had somebody from Birmingham here.
Yeah, they-
Quite a regional spread.
There was a lot of people from Alabama here yesterday. It was great. And shout out to Susan again. Susan, we love you.
Susan, it was great taking a selfie with you. I
And
saw it
Susan-
online. We all looked great.
It was good.
It was
And
good.
Susan will tell you the slugs and the snails like the hosta.
Yes.
So be looking out for that. That's
Well,
what
they're
I'm
all
Even in
down low
Alabama.
to the ground where the snails and the slugs are to start with.
They're
So,
right down there
yeah.
low. Their leaves are juicy and tasty.
They're beautiful.
But the slugs and snails, they feed at night. So it's kind of hard to know what's going on during the day. You don't really see
You got to
much.
get out there, camp out with the flashlight.
Get the sluggo.
Get the
Camp
sl-
out with the
Well,
flashlight.
let's
Hey.
talk about our next question.
Got another one, Austin.
Sluggo didn't work. Slugs and snails are killing everything in
Ow.
my garden beds. And then they said, help me.
Okay. You know what I think is probably going on is the sluggo will disintegrate very quickly with a lot of rainy weather. Okay? What have we had?
Absolutely.
A lot of
Must
rainy
be,
weather.
and it'll tell you on there, it must be reapplied after every rain.
It really does. It just goes away. Or your chickens eat it.
Yeah, the chickens
that
like
happens.
it. So.
Right here.
Stop.
Right here.
Stop.
And they eat your petunias while they do it, right?
They
Shut
didn't
up,
eat
Tyler.
them. They wrecked
What is
them.
the
They
active
wrecked
ingredient
them.
in Sluggo? You
It's
know?
it's an iron phosphate, maybe? I think is
I was gonna guess go.
go.
Slug go.
Slug.
Go away. This is really bad.
It's
Tyler, that was not bad. That was
dad, isn't
great.
Good to love this.
But yeah,
stuff.
reapply the sluggo. The sluggo does work, y'all. It really does, but it's got to be reapplied, and it cannot go away with the rain. The rain's going to take it away.
So is there
And
a...
the same thing applies if you have a repellent that you're trying to use. Every time it rains, you got to, those things are effective, but every time it rains, you got to put it out. And with what I just shared in the forecast, it's been raining a lot. So it's almost impossible to have completely effective control when you have rain 4 days a week and it's every other day. It's tough.
It's tough. All right, so there's not another option other than Sluggo?
Beer.
It's other than it's tough.
The beer.
I mean, it
gets
is tough. I get them on my hosta.
It gets diluted when it rains, though. Even the beer does, Josh.
Even the beer.
Well,
you know,
you got to use a
there's
really
that
you got to
problem.
use a really heady IPA, man. Then go with a dark beer.
Has anyone
Gross. If
had-
I was a slug, I
piddly
would
little-
not go to that.
No.
Anyone had luck with eggshells crushed? Crunch like.
I have heard of that. Yeah, because it cuts up their little bodies as they sliver.
You don't have to be
Let
graphic
slither.
with it, Caroline.
And one of those.
Well, that's what it does.
There's an earth mix that has expanded shale in it that might, on top of it, wouldn't hurt to put a little bit down on top of
Wouldn't
it.
hurt.
What about Austin? What about diatomaceous earth? Is it any effective at all around those, or
I've actually
that
never heard of it to be with
Well, I hadn't
effective with
either. It just
slugs, but
occurred
it,
to me.
yeah, it occurs to me when you said it as well. It might. It wouldn't hurt. It surely
It's
wouldn't
cheap,
hurt,
too,
right?
so,
It is
I mean,
cheap.
It is
Yeah.
cheap. Yeah. But same thing with the eggshells. Slices up there. Tiny little bodies.
Yeah.
Poor little guys.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Everybody's out to
Okay.
get them.
Everyone's out to get them. It's so sad. Cicadas have wrecked one of our viewers' cousas. I think it will lose the upper branches. They are brittle. Lower branches seem untouched. Should I trim the tree or just let the branches fall off?
Just observe it and just look at it and see what's happening. Like if you see your Coosa dog with leaves at the top and the stems like drooping or wilting or wanting to die off, then like, yeah, you could go ahead and cut those off. Like it's going to happen. It's minimal damage with cicadas. I'm sorry that it happened to you, but it does happen a little bit, but your plant's going to be fine. And if you want to let it fall off, let it fall off. If you feel like you need to trim it now, trim it now. Like either way is fine.
Either way is fine. Yeah, the cicadas seem to have settled down a lot here in the Nashville area.
They're on the downslope.
They're definitely on the downslope.
They're out of my area of Smyrna completely. Almost. I mean, you see one or two as opposed to the masses that were rolling around there.
Yep.
But there is a lot of flagging on the little ends of the trees, and I mean, the wind's going to take care of most of it. So,
Pretty much,
I mean, and that'll be the natural spot where it broke. So let it go.
Yeah.
So Miriam has a response to the slug
Hi,
problem.
Miriam.
Hey, Miriam.
Good morning, Miriam.
Good morning. I got a great big
Always.
hug from Miriam last week. It was great. She's a great hugger.
Yeah, Miriam is a great hugger and just a great person.
She is.
Good knowledge. And the knowledge that Miriam is going to give to us this morning is copper edging for slugs. You don't have to reapply it.
Not
Thanks.
cheap, but
Josh went,
Copper.
Yeah, because of the price. I mean, that would be the thing, and it is naturally they use it in the salt generators up for the swimming pools. So I mean, it's gonna have some. I think that would be really, really, really beneficial. But
and the beautiful patina it would have,
yes,
it would be lovely. So there's that.
and I mean, like she said, you don't have to reapply it. So it might be expensive up top, but if it works,
oh, copper's expensive.
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
yes,
But
yes.
if you have a lot of hosta,
Yeah, that's true.
and they're your little babies, then it might be worth it. We also got a comment from Risha. Good morning, Risha.
Hey, Raish.
My newly planted oak leaf hydrangeas, rust spots on them. What can I do?
Sandpaper and a little primer. And-
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes, Josh.
Raish, it's okay. It's okay. It happens. And it's been wet. It's been fungusy. It's part of it. And with oak leaf hydrangea, it is almost impossible to grow an oak leaf hydrangea and not have some spots on it as the season goes on. It's just part of it. And yeah, it can be a little bit annoying. It's typically mostly on lower leaves of the plant, kind of like a tomato or something. If you have enough leaves to play with, then just take some of those leaves off. That's your first biggest step. Like when you leave those leaves on and they've got those spots, those fungal spots are going to produce spores. Those spores are going to reproduce and they're going to jump to other leaves, whether it be your oak leaf or even other plants around the oak leaf. So removing them if you can is the way to go. If you can't, then you're going to look at the spots. The spots aren't going anywhere.
I guess my question would be is how do you determine if you have enough leaves to play with?
If you can take it away and you don't notice,
Yeah.
then you have enough to play with.
Yeah. And again, this goes back to the graphic I showed early in the program. That 9.2 inches of
Yes.
rainfall in the month of May is the major player in all of this. There's not much you can do to work around that, except I think as Austin was mentioning, is to thin that foliage out a little bit. That may actually help the situation to
Get
keep
some air.
those pathogens from spreading from one leaf to another. And the ones that are the worst affected are the ones you need to focus on first. So you may not be actually giving up anything. You're going to really be helping the situation by getting those off there. So you can't really treat the rust as long as it continues to rain. So maybe we're going to have a little break in that in the coming days.
I have rust all over my hollyhocks. They're so tall and gorgeous, but dying from the ground up, or at least the leaves are.
Hollyhocks are the worst about rust.
They didn't get them
Like,
last year.
Literally the worst.
And that, I expected it, so it's okay. But it is a little bit sad.
But you had them for a while.
I've had them for years.
Really?
Yeah, this year they were the biggest they've ever been. It's the third year. I started them from seed 3 years ago.
It's been a nice hollyhock year.
It has. I mean, they're blooming right now, but they just don't look great from the ground up. But, I have other plants planted in front of them that are doing great and don't have rust.
It's never a bad time of year to add Earth Mix to your garden. Earth Mix garden products are sustainably sourced, living soils and amendments crafted to give you the best success for your gardening efforts. Establishing a raised bed? Use Garden Premium Topsoil Blend for an excellent performing growing medium for flowers and vegetables. Amend your gardens with their supernatural compost, with all the nutrients needed to recharge existing soils. For houseplants, Their Proganics Indoor Grow Mix is a fantastic potting medium that will feed for up to 6 months without the need for additional fertilizer. Earth Mix is sold only at independent garden centers, so head over to earthmix.net/find Earthmix to locate one near you. Success begins at the ground level when you use Earthmix garden products. You know what else
the way that
continues?
What?
What's in bloom?
Oh boy.
With Austin. The
Hey.
blooms of spring.
The blooms of late spring.
Sprummer.
Mid-spring, yes. Hey, Caroline, you know what's still blooming? Clematis. Okay, Shasta daisies still going. Verbena still going. Caroline's hollyhocks are going, but they're rusty. Hostas are blooming. You you showed me a great picture yesterday of your hostas. They are gorgeous.
don't think I
Great job. Huh?
Did I?
Yes, you showed me. They're all touching. They're
Striptease.
swelling.
Oh, they
All
were
of
blooming in
that.
that picture. Yeah, but yeah.
But God,
My hosta bed looks incredible.
it's really, really good. Good job.
Well, thank you.
Your bee balm looks great too. With your phlox, you've got bee balm behind your phlox, and your phlox is blooming. The bee balm's blooming. It's
and the hollyhock
it's
is next to it.
It's a nice scene. Hey, echinacea's still going off. Actually, just starting and gonna keep going for a long time. You're gonna hear me talking about that for a while. My creeping time's still going. It's only about 20% bloom, maybe. That was a weird mouse noise. And Black-Eyed Susan's
gonna
just
sound like
started,
that.
and they're gonna be going for a while. Black-Eyed Susan's, yeah.
One of my favorites. Stop. Hush.
Not
Rutabaga
mine.
is fantastic.
Come on. Mass it up and live it.
Josh
It
looks
lives.
so disappointed in what you're saying.
It lives almost too good for
He
me.
can't have any crab cakes because that's like is that the Maryland state flower? I believe it.
Is
I
it?
believe it is.
Maybe. I don't know.
Look at y'all.
But yuck. Okay, Asiatic lilies.
Yeah.
Still
yeah.
going.
Mine are
Still
going.
looking good. Really, really like those. And then, hey, let's get to our hydrangea portion of the broadcast. Tyler, throw it up.
Oh, man.
Come on, man.
Hold on.
Wait, you were supposed to, you pushed the button. You were supposed to be ready for this. We're going to the shrub part of it. This hydrangea season.
I was
It's
trying to
happening.
keep
We've got to take a pause.
I was going to give a shout out.
I was trying to keep track of the varieties that you were talking about as we were going along, you know?
Yes, that one. Do that one.
Okay.
Adam, our GM, general manager of 25 years. Look, his quick fire hydrangea. They call it quick fire for a reason.
Money.
That's a close up. So money. I've got one as well, but I wanted to show Adam's. His is literally like 12 by 12, y'all. He's never cut it. He
Really?
just lets it be on the
I
corner of
see
his house.
how it goes up.
It's just massive. And it's a panicle style hydrangea, the full sun hydrangeas, and that's the one that blooms first, hence the name Quickfire.
Is it white to red, white to pink to
White
red,
to
or white?
pinkish, reddish.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. And then next, hey,
Love
your
it.
macrophylla has just started. So that's that endless summer collection that we all think of. Those blues, those pinks, those round blooms, those just started. We actually, around town, looking pretty good right now. Not too bad. We brought some in the studio. Caroline will tell you about those later. Okay, David, your Annabelles are going off. And then, no, I'll wait for that. Okay. Okay.
Wait.
What?
What?
Your oak leaves are still going. Okay, Tyler, throw it up. Why not? Let's do it. Get it to them.
All right.
Boom!
Ooh.
Incredible hydrangeas, y'all.
Beautiful.
That's 5 of them. They just kind of started. They're so beautiful. That's at my house. And the petunias are going off.
And I
Things
think
are
this
happening.
is a great example, Austin, of when you cut them back as you do, it does reduce the size of the overall flowers that come on there. However, the quantity of flowers is greatly increased. So I think it gives you a much better, a much more resilient plant. You know, we get these downpour rainfalls. A lot of people complain about them flopping down on the ground. Well, the reason they're doing that is that they're not cutting them back. They're producing a fewer number of really huge flowers. They get loaded up with water and they're easier to break down. So you see, you have no issues. You got one little one on the ground in front, but almost nothing. They're
Yeah.
perfect.
I know.
The
That little
petunias
one
in
up front
front.
was probably a kid or a cat or dog or something. Yeah. No, those are great. I love my Incredibles. Those, like, literally over the past 3 days have just started popping. So love those. Incredible hydrangea, worth a grow for sure. Hey, your roses are still blooming. Elderberry in full show. Big old gangly shrub. Prickly pear, Caroline told me, still going. Hey, when it comes to the trees, the sweet bay magnolias and your regular magnolias just blooming. They just bloom perpetually, it seems like. Little leaf linden's still going off. Ben Tress, shout out. He has one in his neighborhood yesterday. He said it was beautiful. Beekeeper's Delight, the little leaf linden, love it. Chinese chestnut still going, still spraying at you, doing what it does. And then, hey, annuals are popping off. Josh said his zinnias just started throwing something. And my favorite in the world, petunias.
Yep.
Petunias is all you need to know. Petunias. That's what's in bloom. Done.
Beautiful.
Great.
Bravo, bravo,
Yes,
bravo.
That's great.
We're proud of you.
Yep. Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's our in-house audience.
Got to give it one of these.
Wow,
yeah,
they are really
You got
responsive.
to turn the hand. You got to do the hand just right. You got to turn it.
You did it okay.
Okay.
You did all right. I'll have to get a picture of my hosta for next week because they are in full bloom right now. Some of them, not all of them, but they look great.
You missed one though.
Uh-oh.
Tomato plants.
Tomatoes.
Yeah,
And
they're
squash.
blooming.
Uh-huh.
Gosh, they're growing.
Hey, speaking of tomatoes, we got a live tomato question in.
Yes.
The bottom stems of my tomato plants look yellow and awful. Am I underwatering? Should I pull them off? I think she means leaves.
Look, you're not doing anything wrong. That's a tomato plant for you. If you've ever grown tomato plants, you're going to see yellow leaves on the lower part. Ask Caroline. She'll call you out on yellow leaves. She did them on my
Yes, I will.
clematis last week with 3 yellow leaves and 1 million blooms. It looked great. If your tomato is looking good up top and it's got a few yellow leaves down below, pluck those yellow leaves off. They're not going to get green again. They're not. Just pluck them off, clip them off, whatever. It's part of it. A tomato plant is a vigorous vine for the most part.
Right.
So
Even if you have to do that multiple times a week,
Yeah.
just do it. They're growing machines this time of year. So,
Yeah, mine are
it's
growing
easy
like
for
crazy.
the eye to be attracted to the negative aspects, and kind of ignore all this positive stuff. So, I would try to not give that too much attention. It's a good idea to pay attention to what's going on, but it's just very typical, as you say, Austin. It's going to happen, not just on tomatoes, on almost anything that's growing. The lower leaves, that's just where the problems begin.
Yeah.
Number one, because they're deficient of sunlight, and they're the least necessary foliage on the plant, so the plant gets rid of them.
There's one thing that would make me pause for concern, and that's early blight. And I've had a lot of that in my garden on my tomatoes.
But that's
that's a
presents-
progressive thing.
that
always
presents,
have
though,
tomato
at the
problems.
top.
I do. That's why I don't plant them.
But that presents at the top,
Yep.
not the bottom. So if it starts from the bottom and works itself up, that's a natural thing. But like early blight and late blight certainly starts at the top and then works its way down. Like if the topmost part of your plant looks bad, that's cause for concern. Lower leaves of the plant, not cause for concern all that much.
Yeah, mine shed leaves. I've got a bunch of tomatoes.
All the
and they're
time.
all yellow at the bottom.
Here's
I just
another
leave them
thing,
and let them
Austin.
fall off.
If you remove the leaves from the base, does that help the stem get more woody and harden up?
I don't think that it really changes anything, to be honest with you. I mean, I think it's going to swell and grow either way if you leave the leaves on or take them off. They're going to naturally senesce anyway. I mean, they're going to, the yellower they get and browner they get, they're going to just like
Fall
droop
off.
and fall off. For the
I
most
just
It's a
let mine
sign
fall
of
off.
acceptance of what is eventually going to occur anyway. So you're just advancing the cause. That's all.
That's right. My tomatoes are going crazy with this rain. Speaking of that, how often should I water tomatoes is our next question.
Yeah.
Totally depends. Totally depends. The plant, every plant is different, and it depends on how you have them planted. Do you have them in a raised bed where it's like a really well drained soil? Do you have them in the ground to where you wouldn't have to water at all? We don't want to do excess watering on tomatoes if we can help it. Okay. You give a tomato excess water, it's going to start fruiting and then it's going to start swelling, and then excess water makes fruit split. So we don't really want that. If your tomato plant is not wilting, it doesn't look dry, doesn't look sad. If it looks happy, perky, healthy, let that thing be. Let it be.
I
'Cause
will
it needs
say,
to dry out a little bit anyway.
They can.
yeah, they like to
totally.
dry out a little bit. My, I have them in ground and in raised beds, and the raised beds I probably water like once a week if we're not getting a lot of rain. In ground, I never water them.
No.
unless we're in a drought.
And we've been getting a lot of rain.
And
Yes.
I have not had to water them at all, which has been fantastic. Hey, Tyler's giving some shout outs, or sorry, Colin is giving some shout outs
Hey, Col.
to Tyler from YouTube. Good morning, Colin. Colin
for
is
the
saying
support,
Tyler
Colin.
is on fire today.
Am I?
Tyler's quality is diamond level.
Oh.
Those zooms are perfection.
I'm not sure. No, he's kind of throwing a little shade out there too. Because
Colin would never. Colin would never.
What about this? I'd like to anyone else hit the button.
I wasn't sure exactly what Tyler meant by that.
Yeah.
Colin.
Colin?
Colin.
Why, Colin and Tyler, I guess
They're tied. I know they're tied.
Y'all are one person to me now. Also, Ben Tress sent us a smile emoji.
Thanks, Ben.
Good morning, Ben Tress.
Ben.
Possibly
Hitting the-
watching, studying from the next room.
Hitting the button might be the sound effect that I used.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially.
So he wants other people to hit that button. So we all need soundboards, Tyler.
Okay.
Next week, we're expecting our own little Little bored.
Well, I do want an Austin sound.
Please
Oh,
don't
it
make
could be
mine
dangerous,
a
yes.
wah sound. I don't want that one.
you won't get that one.
I
Did
couldn't
he
have
just
a
say
soundboard. I'd be hitting that
You'd
thing
hit it all the time.
Yeah.
Austin's is going to be just a fake one. It's going to have buttons that just don't make any noise.
They act like they work. Just to make
Do you want me to give you a Fisher Price little toy that you can?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Hey, speaking of Austin, we got a clematis question in, and I like it.
Of course you do. I know what's coming.
My clematis is already shriveled up, dry and brown. Is it a little early for that? Listen, that's what happened to my clematis a month ago. It came out gorgeous. I was talking to Austin. I didn't tell you guys. I was shifting close to Team Clematis, and then one day it just died. Shriveled up, completely dead.
Y'all are doing
And now
something
I
wrong.
hate them again. Hate's
You
a
don't
strong
hate
word. I still appreciate them, but I'm a little bit
You
upset.
literally brought in clematis yesterday. The first thing you decided to decorate
Because
with
we're
yesterday
friends.
was clematis.
Oh, clematis. Yes.
You say you hate
You
it.
see that? That's a great friend move, Austin.
Yes.
Thank you. I care.
You care about clematis.
So what's the matter with the
My,
what's going
my
on?
Man,
clematis.
does that. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Like, I don't have a problem with
Crossvine
that.
doesn't.
Oh my God. My clematis does not do that. I don't know why yours does. But I
What
have
about
seen
this
that.
one? Already shriveled up, dry and brown. Now, I will say the one that died back this year, which was very early, so I think it's actually dead, did this last year as well, but it was later in the season. I thought it was dead. It came back this spring. It had buds, never bloomed. It seemed like it died in one day.
Is that your fragrance star, Caroline?
Yes.
Okay, my fragrance star is struggling,
But
but I also have not transplanted it yet.
Up.
And I also noticed that as I was trying to tie it up, the upper stems would just break. It was like so easy to just like snap a stem and then that would go brown.
They don't like to be in a pot, though, do they?
They're not in a pot.
No, they're not.
No,
Yours are in the ground.
They're in the
Okay.
ground, but they're
Okay.
they're way too shaded right now, and I haven't transplanted them out of that
That's what I
location to
think.
get them
Okay.
more sun. That's what I meant to say.
I do prefer clematis and a lot of sun as well, by the way. And yeah, Tyler, you're just right about that. Clematis stems break easy. They just do. I mean, you can walk by and touch them and they're going to snap.
Or you could accidentally weed eat them like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did
Tyler
that too.
loves to weed whack his plants.
Still alive though. That's a test.
You weed whacked a Japanese maple, didn't you?
That's dead.
Yeah.
That's
You
gone.
took it out.
Either way, I'm sorry that your clematis is doing this. I don't like it. It's been very wet. Clematis doesn't really like wet either. That could be what's going on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it's
Mine's
weird.
beautiful.
You should probably just buy me one to test it. Wow, Austin.
Gotta go
What?
there.
Just had to throw it out
Jack
there.
Manny
Throw
eye,
it.
huh?
That's the goat.
Yep.
That is the
Goat.
one Austin talks about all the time. I think Austin should buy me a clematis so I can try it out.
There's a nice one.
There's a nice one right
There's a
behind.
nice one.
Why would you say no? I brought clematis into the studio.
All you do is just bad talk clematis. I'm not buying you one.
I did say it was pretty. I'm just mad at it because mine died. But let's get to more questions
Yes.
because
Okay.
our viewers are ready.
Are they?
My begonia looks like it has mildew spots on it. What do I do? Ooh,
Begonias.
they can
Old
be
school,
sassy.
baby. I
love
still like
begonias.
it. I still like a
love
begonia.
begonias.
I
My
still
mom
do.
planted them all the time.
Is it a begoner?
No.
No, Tyler.
That's
But
right.
how big is it? How does it look? Is it 90% of the plant? Is it 10% of the plant?
don't
If you
know.
can take any of those leaves, take them, just like we talked about earlier. Take individual leaves, people. This is huge, especially lower leaves, just like the tomatoes we were talking about. If they're old leaves and they look bad with spots, whatever, they're not going to get good again. There's nothing you can spray. There's nothing you can fertilize that's going to change the look of that leaf. Take it. Take the leaf.
Take it to the limit. One more
Take the
time.
leaf.
Right, best product for aphids and mites on my zinnias.
On zinnias? Aphids and mites on zinnias?
Oh, my.
Get you some ladybugs. That's the best product, I would say.
That's the most natural.
It's the most, and they're cute. They're really fun to release, as long as you're not scared of bugs.
Yeah. And don't worry so much about aphids unless it's just like a massive outbreak of aphids. Like they're not going to do too much damage on your zinnias.
And
They're going to bring in
find
good
something-
bugs.
Yeah, they're going to find something else to eat in a minute anyway. So.
Yeah. Now spider mite's a different story. Spider mite can go from 10 to a million in a couple days. So you kind of need to keep an eye on that. But I just never really heard too much of mites being on zinnias. Like that just
I
doesn't.
haven't had that issue. I mean, they will get on anything.
They'll get on
If they
anything, yeah.
appear, I mean, do you think all this rain would kind of wash them away, though?
I mean, kind of. It's been so wet and not all that hot. Mites love hot and dry. Like that's whenever
yes,
they
they
go
do.
rampant. So I don't know. I want to see.
Austin needs some photos.
With mites.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. But I'm going to, you know what, send some pics. I'll give you a call.
And send them to gardeninginsideout@gmail.com.
High res, especially when you're looking for little bitty bugs, because a lot of you need to identify the bug correctly.
Exactly.
So that's the thing.
Yes. You know, some say there ain't no cure for the summertime blues, but we say Bates Nursery is. Located in Nashville, Tennessee, Bates Nursery and Garden Center is a separate world unto itself. They feature the widest variety of plants, including trees, shrubs, native plants, perennials, houseplants, and specimen evergreens. Their knowledgeable staff will assist you with any gardening needs, catering to any experience level. Open year-round, and Caroline, tell them how to get here.
Bates Nursery is located minutes from downtown Nashville off Briley Parkway, exit 19 in beautiful Whites Creek, Tennessee. You'll see it's worth the drive from anywhere. No time to visit the nursery? Shop online with delivery and pickup options available for the greater Middle Tennessee area at www.batesnursery.com.
So if you want to learn a lot about living and a little about love, visit Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932.
All right, let's get to some more questions. Bagworms.
Yeah.
What are the early signs and how can I keep them at bay?
I mean, it's kind of hard actually to see like the early signs of it. Like you probably won't see anything until you see something, and that's typically the bags. Okay, so anytime you see little bags, dangling from your conifers, you need to rip them off and stomp them.
Yeah.
Like that's the first method.
If you see one left from last year, it's going to be that's the first sign. Get them all off.
That's going to be. You will have you'll have offspring that emerge from the bags by the hundreds.
Yeah.
So the failure to act on that immediately, you will pay a high price for that. Now, it's a very strange little thing. They seem to be very adept at hiding, and Mother Nature has all kinds of survival schemes. However, I have experienced that if you will turn your head sideways or even better upside down, they seem to jump out and show up. So you can see last year's right now. Now, what's important about the ones you see right now are last year's, and that's where the juveniles will come out of. You got to get those off and kill those because Father's Day is generally the time when you want to start thinking about spraying for those little nymphs that come out of those sacs. They're very easy to control with even a really benign insecticide at that stage, but they quickly develop that husk around them with just pieces and parts of whatever the host plant is, and they become very resilient between that and the web that they spin of being treated to kill them off with an insecticide. So its timing almost is very critical. The best thing to do is to get rid of those bags now, and you'll reduce greatly the number. And don't just
hope for some dry weather too.
I put them in. I burn mine actually. That's just the way I roll. I'm that way.
Mm-hmm.
But hope for some dry weather too, because the insecticides you need to reapply
Hard
those.
Hard to spray when it's wet. Yeah.
Can we get Daconel anymore?
What?
Can we get Daconel still? I haven't looked for it in years.
I'm sure you can still find it.
Okay.
It sounds like a dinosaur name. I've had bagworms on cactus before. That was weird. I didn't know they would get it.
I've seen them trying to eat a brick wall. I mean, they will put telephone poles.
Yes, they're not all that picky. Like they're weird.
I was shocked when I found them on a Peruvian apple cactus. I was like, wow, this is wild. All right, let's take a shift. Is it too late to prune my Rose of Sharon?
It's kind of a weird time to prune Rose of Sharon, but if it's getting out of bounds on you and it's getting too big, then yeah, you can certainly short it. You're probably going to make the bloom time like a couple weeks later if you do that. So you're going to cut it. What's going to happen? It's going to re-leaf, and then it's going to bloom whenever it wants to bloom. So, but you're probably going to delay that a little bit. But like I said, if it's too big, if it's out of bounds, go ahead and cut it back. Rose of Sharon's super tough, super hardy. You're not going to hurt anything by doing it.
And since they grow so big so fast, what's frequently a problem is people have planted them too close to a walkway or whatever. You may just be about eliminating a branch or two that's gotten out in the way. So do that, then they become decidedly less problematic.
All right. What are some good wildflower seeds to plant, and when is a good time to do so? Ooh, I love wildflower seeds. So I'm a big fan of growing poppies, rudbeckia, echinacea. Coreopsis. Those are some that grow great from seed that I will just scatter and they come up. So those are, again, those are some of my favorite. I usually do mine in the fall to get established or early spring. It's a little bit late, but you could really do them anytime. They're perennial. They'll come up. They won't be as strong, but next year they will be fantastic. I mean, there's so many that you can just scatter. Tyler, you sounded like you had something to say.
Tithonia Mexican sunflower. I really love seeing those.
That one is great. I planted those this year. Yeah, that's
they
an
spike
annual
up
here.
above everything.
Funny story about that. I wanted to grow them for years. I planted them from seed for 2 or 3 years, and they take a long time to establish, and they bloom way later than everything else, which is really, really nice. It can be a backbone to your garden bed. They've got these cute orange blooms, but I kept forgetting that I planted them, and I was like, what is this crazy weed that's growing up right here? So I would pull it year after year and then be like, didn't I plant Mexican petunias? Or not Mexican sunflower here. And then I realized that that's what that was, that I had been pulling out of one of my flower beds.
I've never had any luck with poppies. Never been able to get them to grow.
I grow poppies all the time.
Do you really?
I've grown them from the starts we've gotten here at the nursery and from seed, and mine are great. I don't know what it is. I just scatter the seed or plant the starts and walk away. I think a problem is people water them too much and they stay too wet.
Okay.
But mine are pretty much bloomed out this time. Like, I'm still getting a few sporadic blooms here and there, but I'm about to cut mine back and just scatter the seed.
All of mine that have done well are in raised beds.
Oh, mine are all in
raised
ground.
planters.
Yeah.
Well,
But again, that lends to me talking about people overwatering them. If they're in raised beds, they're going to be up. It dries out a little bit faster. But I don't think poppies like wet feet.
No, don't water them at all.
Would be my guess. But watch my webinar on, I forgot what it's called, but on flower beds.
wildflower gardening?
Wildflower gardening.
Caroline?
What a concept. Okay.
Did you even
Wild.
do it?
I did, and I got so excited about it that I forgot everything else. But I had a great time talking about it. I've got photo examples of a lot of my wildflower beds. So if
Boy,
you're
does she.
interested, take a look. You can find it on YouTube, Bates website. You can scroll down, go to Bates Botanical Boot Camp. All right, someone's had some fruit tree issues. Fruit trees have bug bites. Is it too late to spray them?
No. I mean, no, it's not too late to spray them. I mean, it's mid-spring. It's fine. I don't know what kind of bugs they are or what you're trying to achieve. Like Josh said earlier, identify the bug. Let's know what it is so we can best help you with what to spray with or not to spray with. Sometimes bugs don't need to be sprayed all the time. I mean, fruit trees come with issues. It's part of it. But don't just spray willy-nilly when you don't know what it is. So bring us some pictures, bring us some, examples, whatever, of what you've got, and we can better help you with that.
Absolutely.
But it's not too late.
It's never too late. If it might be.
We're near a month away from peach harvest.
Ooh, Tyler's excited. So I did want to talk about one email we got in with photos. The resolution was a little low, so we can't get them out. This comes from Laurel. She says, shout out to Owen and Austin for helping me with the purchase of this. It was a photo, but we're not going to get it up. Magnolia Royal Star and a bag of Earth Mix Landscape, of course.
I remember you, Laurel.
Just
I
one?
remember that.
Shout out
She
to
only
Laurel.
got one bag?
She was so nice. That's all she needed, Josh.
Okay.
Just one bag. So Laurel does have some questions, detailed care tips about this. So I will have Austin email you. We'll let you know all the care tips on that, when to prune it, and Austin's going to tell me what to email.
I went ahead and threw up the
I've never
magnolia.
sent an email.
Wow.
Wow, Laurel, that looks fantastic.
That does look fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a great purchase. That was nice talking to you that day. We shoved that in your car. Me and Owen did. It was great. Laurel, love you. Thank you.
Shout out to Laurel.
I'm going to call you. I ain't going to email you. I'm going to call you.
Fitting things
Laurel,
in
you'll
people's
have
cars.
to email your phone number if you want Austin to call you, and then
Yep,
we'll
phone
have him
number.
call you. Yes, or we can just email you back.
It's a rainy day. I'm just going to call all y'all.
Austin's going to get in that phone
Okay.
book, look up all y'all's
Yep.
phone numbers, and give you a call.
Phone book.
Yeah, phone books. They're still a thing.
Are they?
You're talking about calling everyone. How are you going to find them without a phone book?
Laurel, great job.
You know what? I think we may not know until next week, guys.
Really?
Oh, that's right.
Said
Because
already.
we're already.
We've about used
already
this
time.
week up.
Oh.
It's another quick program, Josh.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. We really appreciate everyone for being here today and for tuning in to Gardening Inside Out. We're going to be back next week, and it may be that there's so much information here you need to rewatch it. Don't, as my brother-in-law would say, dear departed Sid, don't let fear and common sense get in the way. we appreciate you tuning in today and being a part of what we're putting on here at Gardening Inside Out.
Yeah,
Josh?
we'll come back next Saturday morning for more Barry White music here on the Gardening Inside Out tour. Hey, but thanks again, everybody, for joining. Send your pictures, like, share, get out on all the social media platforms, let the world know that we're here for them. And we'll be right back next Saturday morning from about 8 o'clock, here in Nashville. We'll be here for an hour. We'll see you then.
Thank you for tuning into the Gardening Inside Out podcast. If you're looking for more information or more from your hosts, don't forget that we have a live Saturday morning broadcast, 8 a.m. Central Time on YouTube and Facebook. You can also follow us on our Instagram channel. That's @Gardening Inside Out for more posts, reels, and in-depth dives to topics and things we've discussed on the show. If our content resonates with you, consider giving us a follow, like, and subscription on all of our social media pages. See you next time.